order our meeting for August 15th at 6:36. Roll call, please.
Alderman Motley. Alderman Hudson.
Here.
Alderman Wilkins.
Present.
Alderman Deckard.
Here.
Alderman Rogers.
Present.
Alderman Magley.
Yep.
Okay, if everyone would join, please, for the pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, folks. All right, that moves us to special presentations, number 4. Heather, do you have?
So I provided in the packet the use tax presentation information. I didn't know if you all wanted to actually do a presentation on that, but I knew we had talked about continuing to add this to the agenda every single time. So whatever you all would like to do as far as the board is concerned, if you would like to do the use tax presentation, we can do that tonight. Yes, no?
Sure. Unless Samantha's volunteering to do it for us.
Are you gonna do it first,
Did you
Amanda?
revise it a little bit?
I revised it a little
Yeah,
bit.
my daughter didn't see it.
Do you need it on this camera?
Nope, I just need the thing turned on and then that screen pulled down, please. Okay. So this presentation is just regarding the local use tax. It also, what is a local use tax is gonna go a lot faster than I think than what I can talk. Let's go. Okay.
So the big changes were the percentages and stuff.
Yes, so of course the local use tax is a tax on goods that are purchased online from out of Missouri vendors. Missouri residents would pay this tax in lieu of a sales tax, not a double tax. So that was the biggest part of what we were wanting to get across here. We talked about how it could benefit, of course, transportation, public safety, any number of things, Parks and Rec. These were the estimated revenues provided by the Missouri Department of Revenue. So essentially in 2021, we could have received an additional $147,000 if the use tax had passed. Let's see. So we had talked about, the board had talked about the first 5 years, what the intended use would be, 0.5% for sidewalk replacement, which would be an additional almost $30,000. 1% to public safety, a little over, or almost $59,000, and then the same amount to the general fund. Public safety would be used for equipment, and then the new building, new public safety building that we're in desperate need of. So this slide just talks about what our normal tax rate is, which is 2.5%. So the board had discussed for the first 5 years, keeping those percentages that we saw in the previous slide, and then this would then it would automatically revert back to this breakdown, which is 0.5% to parks, 0.5% to transportation, 0.5% to public safety, and 1% to general fund. So these are some of the projects that we could benefit, the city could benefit from a use tax. These are some of the things that we could put into place. Public safety building, walking trails, sidewalks. Sidewalks are always a big concern. And then key points, just it is a tax on internet sales. You're not going to pay a use tax and a sales tax. It's the same rate as the local sales tax, and the wording in the ballot issue is that it would always remain the same. So if our sales tax increases, our use tax automatically increases. So, and it helps to fund community services. and then just suggestions about, projects that the city might benefit from. And then Brock, you for November 8th. That was a very short overview of the presentation. I gave more detailed information to the board whenever they make presentations out in the public, but this was just a short presentation. A lot of us have already seen this. We've gone over it multiple different times, so.
I would like to add, I mean, I've helped a couple of other communities pass use taxes, especially if you shop at Amazon. I would encourage you to look. There are many large retailers that are already collecting your local sales tax on their internet, on your internet transactions. And so I get people asking, well, what happened to those taxes that are collected even though they're not being remitted to the city of Centralia, Missouri? Well, that's the absolute answer, is those taxes are being collected, and the Department of Revenue is holding on to those taxes that have been taken from you, the citizen. And their position is basically, well, then you need to contact either the company or Department of Revenue to get your taxes back. Otherwise, the state just keeps those tax dollars after a period of time. So do not be fooled. These taxes are already likely being collected by many of the large online retailers. So instead of the state of Missouri benefiting from these tax dollars, it makes absolute sense that your community benefits from these tax dollars, and it keeps being a reinvestment in your community and for projects that truly benefit you here at home. So I would just like to add that.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right. That'll move us to item 5, which is a public hearing, setting property tax rates for 2022.
So, we have to set the property tax rates. This is for real estate and personal property taxes. We have to set this every year. And it's based on a formula that's created by the Missouri State Auditor, and then since Boone County collects our taxes for us and sends out bills for those, they calculate that sales tax for us, or property tax for us. Real estate and personal property taxes for general fund and for parks and rec are not increasing, so the tax rate itself is not increasing. Now that doesn't mean that people might not see an increase on their tax bill, because if the assessed value of their home went up, that means their taxes are going to go up. But those two taxes did not increase, but the library tax did increase slightly. So I don't even remember what it was before, but it's just like, I can find it.
Wasn't it in the ordinance?
I don't know. I don't think it is. But it is just a very slight increase. So last year it was 0.5284, and this year it's 0.5357 per $100 of assessed value.
Any public comments on in the open hearing of the tax rate increase? Or lack of. Okay, with that, I'm going to close the public hearing of setting the property tax rate for 2022. That moves us to comments from the citizens. The only ones I got were some pictures today, but those folks are here. What I will say at this point, regarding what I got had to do with cats and the cat situation we've had over in the one area. In that area, we have turned that over, and I know I've seen pictures of trapping and so forth like that, animals being trapped. I've seen a picture of a possum that looked startled in the night because he was out there in view. Seeing all those pictures, that'll be turned over to Sandy for her investigation. She's doing an investigation, and she's very strongly engaged with those folks in that area. I say folks, the people that have some animals and got lined out on the permitting of how many animals they had. I know that's going on. I know that she's actively trying to get them trapped, and you folks I talked with too as well, about you clean the traps and stuff like that, so they would have the scent and have a better chance of trapping animals. Looked like I seen two in trapped. Was that recently?
There's been consistent.
Okay, got it. So that being said, she's working up a case, and with the pictures we have now, I will forward that to her. You guys need to send those pictures to her if you would, please. That's what I would ask. That way I'm not, as a government person, aiding and abetting an investigation. You guys send those to, the chief of police probably to give to Sandy. Does that make sense? Would that be the right thing to do?
Yeah, that way you keep you in custody, that way it comes from them to the law enforcement department. who's
Yeah.
eventually
And we don't get in between that. Yeah, because there could be fines, prosecutions, those kind of things, depending on how it turns out, because it looked like some pictures that were needed have been gotten a little bit, so, in the act type things, but that'd be for you all to decide and figure out what Sandy's,
We purchased 2 additional traps as well, so.
okay. So let's go, so could, what's your email address?
HHatton@centraliapd.org.
Okay, it's centraliapd.org.
Yep.
Are you getting that written down there? Yeah. There's a chain of how that information should be handed, and we shouldn't be a mediator of it, the city shouldn't be, it should go straight to the department. So that's why I wanna do that. It's not to put you off, it's to make sure we do it correctly. So that when we get to a point of something needs to be ruled on.
We also have gotten rid of 7 raccoons.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Nice. Kudos to you, man.
We got four nights in a row we caught a raccoon.
Man.
Now I'm hoping to catch that possum that's sneaking around.
You look pretty wily on that picture I saw.
He
That's
did.
all I'll say.
I kind of snuck that in there with the picture of the cats just to see if you were really paying
I was
attention.
paying attention. He looked shocked. He
did.
He was like he's gone, so I've never seen one act like that. It's interesting. But the animals over there haven't seen act like they do over there, so anyways, new to me.
So on that topic of animals or cats, I got a comment from a lady who lives over on Mitchell, saying, would the city consider sponsoring a limited amount of spay or neutering for wild animals, for feral cats? Because that would, in the long run, help fix the problem. So that was a suggestion.
They're in the state law, they're supposed to be disposed of.
No, I mean, you can, I mean, cities can, I mean, for
Okay.
instance, the city of Marshall, Missouri is one example, I know that sponsors spay and neutering, DMV, or DVM from Sedalia, Cheryl Alden comes up and runs the clinic for reduced cost, and then the city actually pays her for the reduced cost if people are encouraged to bring their animals in to get them, cats, to get them fixed. So you
Where's
have-
she at?
Well, she's out of Sedalia, but you have Boone County Animal, it's BCAC. They are associated with the Spay and Neuter Project that's in Columbia. Obviously, Chief knows of them. They may be able to do something like
I
that.
have heard of it. I'm not too intimately involved with that. But I did hear the program when it was in Columbia.
Would you guys like me to, I mean, I actually
Could you
have-
check
I
into
mean,
that, and let
I
us know
can
what
check
that would
in
look
and
like, the
find out.
cost associated with it? We need to know what the cost is and
I can absolutely do
an
that.
idea of what that would be for that program, right? We have that information, so we can.
I will do that. I'll have it ready for you guys for information.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So comments are, any else from anybody, anything from the public, email, anything from you?
No.
Okay, thank you for that, Robert.
I did have another on another topic.
Okay,
If we got people here.
you're welcome to come up, state your name. Okay, did you sign in, ma'am?
No.
Sign in as well, please.
I just wondered if anyone had ever looked into other cities' ordinances regarding cats and dogs.
We have, and there's a lot of different variances or not at all. I mean, is that fair to say? I mean, it's all over the page. Some people have have we seen anybody has a leash law for a cat? I don't think I've seen that one, but difference in how they handle the animals, that kind of thing. There's just different nuances in how they handle it as far as if they take the animal, what it costs for them to get the animal back, those kind of things, they gotta get them tagged. We're pretty in line with the general principles and thinking of it, looks like, is what I'd say, that's out there. But that's kind of what we found out at this point. But like everything, we have ordinances on the books that I've found since I've been the mayor for 3 years, that we actually don't really need. We make some clear ordinances sometimes, it depends on what it is, for some gray area or something. But a lot of time our ordinances are actually pretty solid and stand up, and just, we need to enforce them where we can and when we can. And I think we're doing that without question where we can. But you can't enforce something if you don't have the evidentiary things you need to be able to move forward, right? It's speculation at that point that gets you in trouble.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing with that.
I do have ordinances from 4 other cities.
Okay, if you want to leave those, we'll be glad to look more. Can we have those copies? We'll take them and we'll look those over, without question.
Including, there are 2 there that the cats are not allowed outside within the city limits,
What
even
town,
if they're licensed.
Yeah.
what town was that?
There's, Mexico and Moberly, and there's Hallsville and Ashland there.
These 2 are.
And the people that I talked with said that, that didn't have specific laws, that they were having problems, so they're in the process of addressing them.
So Sydney has those, she's gonna look through those for us. I appreciate you offering those up to us,
Okay,
okay?
thank you.
But we just wanna make sure we're fair with everybody, you know,
I
and
understand.
cat owners and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of times we find that owners are just trying to help out sometimes, and they end up with other cats and animals. Had dogs in my yard here lately that, I think were they were loose. I mean, I think that they were not even someone's dog, but it seems like the animals are something that's a constant, challenge in the citizen trade, just in general. Raccoons, possums.
Raccoon problem might be over. I don't know.
Yeah, so, anyway, all righty, that's what we got for that.
What was your name?
Sandy Sanders.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes, you had something, Robert, you said,
Oh,
on the topic?
on another topic, the conversations we've had about RVs
Mhm.
being in,
Sheds.
not stored correctly. Person who's Janet Thomas commented that, you know, there are a lot of work trailers that are being stored in some bad areas also. On the streets, on yards, things like that. So if we address RVs, her request was that we would also make sure that it applies to all the trailers that are out there.
It'd be nice, it made sense if we could look at it, if those would be stored in the back area of
Or at least on a driveway,
Or driveway, yeah,
I
somewhere.
think the sample that we were looking at showed paved or gravel on the side of a house was okay, but not on the street or not in the front yard.
Maybe not to
Literally on the
extend,
grass.
maybe not to extend past the front wall
Yeah,
of the
something.
building or something, yeah. Yeah. It's a big deal. A lot of people talk about people living in these things, it looks like, some of them. Some of them are storage shed we talked about last time, I think, right? So. All right, anything else?
Yeah, I would like to say something, please.
Calm down. Price is right.
Linda Morgan, 800 Jason Court. First off, Heather, I want to congratulate you and wish you very well in your future endeavors. Heather got an email from me last week or the week before, whenever it was, and I would just like to mention that again, that if you're gonna be changing meetings, I mean, we don't all have access or reason to be here on every Friday or Monday to check the front door. And I don't always check the website to see when meetings are, but I would like to see that it's at least posted on Facebook. I don't always see anything out on there either, but, you know, it gives us an opportunity for, especially like myself, because I'm here a lot, everybody knows that, probably much to some of your chagrin, but that's beside the point. Anyway, the other thing, and I know that I was the one who complained about where we were gonna do the sidewalk crossing on 22. But I have to tell you, I think that coming out of Howard Burton is really, really bad. There's just too much, I mean, we're coming around curves, we've got people from Hubble pulling out, we've got people coming out of that road from behind Orchland. I mean, Finks Drive that or whatever that company's name is out there. And I know I was opposed to putting it up by the ambulance district, which is where it was originally, but I would much rather see it there than down at Howard Burton. There's just too much traffic in that area and too many roads coming out of there, and people now with Dollar Tree and Family Dollar being out there, there's just too much traffic in that area. And I'd like to see us move that crossing back to the east a little bit somewhere. Like I said, I know I was the one who bitched about it the first time, about it being there, but moving it to Howard Burton is just not the solution. So, anyway, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's something that we've kind of talked about, looked at. Hubble, maybe Chance is doing some stuff, gonna be adding a facility and some things. So there's gonna be discussions, and we've actually really applied for a grant, for that road over there. It would be wide enough for golf carts as well as people. It'd be really nice access, because we're having more and more, people, there's building going on. There's a lot more going on the north side of 22 as we're starting to spread out north of the town. And so whatever we would do would have to be approved by, naturally, the state, because that's a state highway. But the bottom line is, we've thought about it, and we're trying to think about the most reasonable place to put it in conjunction with the crossing for visibility from a distance coming each way and safety. So we are looking into that, so I appreciate your
I
feedback.
mean,
on
the
that.
top of the hill there by the ambulance district makes the most sense.
Mhm.
And if somebody's coming out of there, they're gonna be watching for anybody and everybody, and hopefully kids on a bicycle or people on golf carts will have enough sense to stop, but.
I'm sure there'd be good signage on it, I would think, but, you know, of electronic signs like even Columbia and stuff.
I realize that, but not everybody pays any attention to those.
I agree.
I mean, it's not gonna make any difference where you put it in that regards,
Right.
but I just don't think a crossing there at Howard Burton with all the traffic there is a good idea.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other comments from citizens?
Kenny Cooley, 820 Emerald Drive. I got two subjects I'd like to talk to you about. One is, I see you're doing some repaving coming up here this year. What I want to do is propose if we can get Lakes or Emerald Drive overcat or overlaid, maybe in the agenda, and maybe next year. A lot of traffic, especially at the southeast corner. Gets a lot of traffic going to Columbia. And my next thing is, Heather invited me here. I've been trying to get I own property at Columbia and 22. And you have an easement that goes on the south side of my property. And I'd like to see if I can get it down to the for the, what do you want to say here? Utility trucks only. It's open to the public now. And I submitted an application. Heather knows about it, so.
Talking about the alley,
Yes.
we talked about this before. haven't
Yeah, we have a lot.
We did, and we found, so I had to go back to 2020. We found an ordinance from 1965 that had never been recorded, and we recorded that. So I thought that once we did that it had taken care of it, but I guess Don said that it did not.
Well, that makes the ordinance or that puts it on record that it's a public alley. What Kenny's trying to do is to change it from a public alley to a private
So we
alley,
need to change the ordinance.
which would allow the city to use it, but wouldn't allow the public in general to use it.
Okay.
That way you can put a gate across there and keep the public from using it.
With a lock.
Yeah, we'd have,
City will have its own
she's
key.
informed us, we'll have to go through a
The
full
entire process.
hearing
Okay,
process
well,
and close it.
I've been working on it for a long time, so.
Yeah, got it.
I
Okay.
don't know which direction to
We
go.
know what to do with it, so,
Thank you, guys.
yeah,
Well,
thank
thank you
you.
for coming.
Take a cookie.
Any of your keys.
Oh, my key, yeah.
Oh, your
Well, that's why
keys.
you need a cookie. You need a cookie.
It'd be on your next electric bill. Cookie charge, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks,
All
Kenny.
right, that moves us to item 7. Any other comments from citizens?
I'm not a member of Centralia, but I have been an employee of the city of Centralia. And at this time, I wish to wish Heather the best in your new endeavors. I worked with you for 14 years, from the bottom to the top, and it's been a pleasure.
Oh, that's stuff that we make these signs and phones right there. I do, but I can't remember anything. We'll do
How
that.
the names?
I've heard chirping and everything else in here.
What was your name, sir?
Scott Stevenson.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it, really do. We appreciate you being here as well, so thanks, when you work here, as well as tonight, okay? Any other, comments? Okay, let's move to item 7 now, appointments. I'll entertain a motion, of appointment of Ryan Russell as a part-time police officer. Anything you want to say, chief, about it?
Glad to have him. Glad to have him.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
First and second to appoint Ryan Russell as part-time police officer for Centralia Police Department. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? He stands appointed. Passed. That moves us to be promotion of Cody Rickless to Water and Sewer Department Assistant Foreman. He's been in there a long time, so I would be, since I think that's who we want to move in that, we talked about it, so. So moved by David
Second.
Wilkins. Have a second?
Second.
And I have a second from Mr. Magley. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, we have, Mr. Rickless has been promoted, assistant foreman. That moves us to item 8. This can be approved as a group. We'll take a motion for it as a group, or if you want to separate something out, that's fine as well. A through I, the Board of Alderman meeting minutes. Is B is Public Works and Utilities Committee meeting minutes. C is General Government Public Safety Committee meeting minutes. D is Planning and Zoning minutes. E is the Collector's Report. F is the Treasurer's Report. G is the Activities Report. H is the Financial Reports. And I is Bartlett West Local Project Reports.
Bartlett and
I've already
West.
read through these. I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda as published.
Second. What'd you say, Dick?
I was gonna say, on the Bartlett and West report, it talks about needing reimbursement request signatures. Do we have those?
Yes, those are something that the mayor approves. These do not include any payments to, like on the wastewater, nothing to Fisher, actually nothing to any of the contractors, it's just engineering costs that we've already paid. Both of them are that way.
No, yeah, that's a fair
Wanted
question.
to double check.
No,
Yeah.
they're not slipping anything in on us from, yeah, you're right. Good catch. I had a motion, to any other discussion? Have a motion and a second, to approve, all combined as one. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It passes. That moves us now down to item 9, which, is accounts payable over $1,250 for a total of $510,661.58.
What's the control panel for the pivots from the north? For $7,700.
Oh, this is, we had an agreement with them last year that we would help pay that because we pay some of the maintenance costs for the pivots, and the parts are just not coming in. We routinely do that whenever they need something. I mean, it's not every year, but.
I make a motion, we approve the accounts payable over $1,250 in a total amount of $510,661.58.
Second.
I have a first and a second, all in favor? All opposed? Accounts receivable have been approved.
So Heather, on stuff like that, do they come to you when you're doing a budget, or you don't budgetize that stuff?
Yeah. We always make sure we have some sort of cushion in there for those things because inevitably something comes up.
That moves us to item 10, finance. I have bill number
2473.
2473.
I move that bill number 2473 be given its first reading by title only.
Second.
Second.
You were out, David. Lane meeting. This is the best participation we've ever had from somebody on Zoom. That's great. I'm proud of you. I want you to know that. I really am. Anyway, that being said, I have a first and second for it to be given its first reading by title only. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Heather, please.
An ordinance fixing the annual rate of taxation in the city of Centralia, Missouri for the year of 2022 for general revenue purposes, for maintenance and the support of the library, and for establishing and maintaining free public parks.
I move that bill number 2473 be given its second reading by title only.
Second.
Okay, I have a first and second to bill number 2473 be given its second reading by title only. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes.
An ordinance fixing the annual rate of taxation in the city of Centralia, Missouri for the year 2022 for general revenue purposes, for maintenance and the support of the library, and for establishing and maintaining free public parks.
I move that bill number 2473 be adopted by roll call vote.
Second.
I have a first and second for bill number 2473 to be adopted by roll call vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Motley, Alderman Hudson,
4.
Alderman Wilkins,
4.
Alderman Deckard,
4.
Alderman Rogers,
4.
Alderman Magley.
Yep.
All right, passes. Ordinance number?
3138.
Thank you. That moves us to item B. Bill number 2475, Amber and Pole Attachment Agreement.
2474.
Oh, excuse me, I skipped it. I'm on the wrong one. 2474, and that'll be updating chapter 3, Sunday liquor license hours. We talked about that, align it with the rest. Again, so,
Move that bill number 2474 be given its first reading by title only.
Second.
I have a first and a second that bill number 2474 be given its first reading by title only. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. First reading, please, Heather.
An ordinance revising subsection A of section 3-5 of the Centralia City Code regarding hours licensees may operate under Sunday liquor licenses.
I move that bill number 2474 be given its second read by title only.
Second.
I have a first and second that bill number 2474 be given its second reading by title only. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It passes. Second reading, please.
An ordinance revising subsection A of section 3-5 of the Centralia City Code regarding hours licensees may operate under Sunday liquor licenses.
I move that bill number 2474 be adopted by roll call vote.
Second.
I have a first and second that bill number 2474 be adopted by roll call vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Motley, Alderman Hudson,
Yes.
Alderman Wilkins,
4.
Alderman Deckard.
No,
Oh, for real?
I just don't think it's necessary, I'm sorry.
You're good.
Alderman Rogers,
4.
Alderman Magley.
Yep.
It passes. Ordinance number 3140.
3139. What's your license?
Man, how am I getting on the way now?
Oh, because you wrote this one right up here.
Oh, I'm on the wrong, no wonder, I'm lost.
We're gonna start all over.
Chris, no, Chris is
It's
on
a
the wrong
crisis.
line.
Give me something in a red
Crisis.
cup to celebrate her leaving.
Yeah, they're doing Tito's and tea over here. Just keep moving on.
Okay, so it was 3139.
Yes,
Thank you.
now you're on.
That moves us to, I got it.
Okay.
Now, that moves us to bill number 2475, Amber and Pole Attachment Agreement.
So what is this?
The pole attachment agreement?
Yeah.
So this is just in case, for some reason, we were to ever move utilities underground. Ameren has requested that they have the ability to take over and purchase those poles from us if there is anything on the poles. Oftentimes Ameren will do this if they ever bring in or think they're going to bring in like utility or fiber services or something of that nature. They just want some assurance that if we were to move those utilities underground, that they have the ability to purchase those poles from us, continue to maintain them, and then run their equipment on them.
So if we have poles and we put it underground, let's say two spots, do we tell them? And if they say, they have to tell us yes or no, then we
No,
remove the poles?
no, we get the ability to do what we need to do, but then they have the right to purchase the poles from us and then continue to utilize those poles for whatever
Okay.
equipment
And
purposes they may
there's a
need.
list of the poles.
Yeah.
And at that pole, those poles are not our responsibility.
Correct, it becomes Ameren's responsibility, they actually
So if a
provide.
windstorm or something gets blown down, they're.
Correct, it's Ameren's poles, Ameren's responsibility.
Right.
Does that help give guidance?
Yep.
Move the bill number 2475 be given its first reading by title only.
Second.
Second.
I have a first and second. Dave, you were close third. Bill number, I've had a first and second that bill number 2475 be given its first reading by title only. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It passes. First reading, please, Heather.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor of the city of Centralia, Missouri to execute a pole attachment agreement with Union Electric Company, DBA, Ameren, Missouri, of St. Louis, Missouri, for permission to attach equipment to city of Centralia, Missouri utility pole.
I move that bill number 2475 be given its second reading by title only.
Second.
I have a first and second that bill number 2475 be given its second reading by title only. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It passes. Second reading, please.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor of the city of Centralia, Missouri, to execute a pole attachment agreement with Union Electric Company, DBA Ameren, Missouri, of St. Louis, Missouri, for permission to attach equipment to city of Centralia, Missouri utility poles.
I move that bill number 2475 be adopted by roll call.
Second.
I have a first and a second that bill number 2475 be adopted by roll call vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes.
It was David.
David.
They were pointing at each other, so.
Alderman Motley, Alderman Hudson,
Four.
Alderman Wilkins, Alderman Decker,
Four.
Alderman Rogers,
Or,
Alderman Magley.
No.
Passes. 2475 passes. Ordinance number 3140. That moves us to item C, which is bill number 2476.
This says April of '22. I assume you mean November of '22?
Yes. So this says November, and this says November.
So for clarification, bill number 2476 is the use tax on the November 2022 ballot.
Where does it say April?
But the
agenda.
ordinance does have it
Agenda.
correct. so
Ordinance,
that's-
and we verified that it is correct on the
Yes.
ordinance, okay. And it states such as November on the corresponding paperwork. So I would entertain a motion for the first reading as amended. Well, it's not amended. It's not amended.
Nice Krieger bottle, Heather.
you want a drink?
Holly, man, this guy can't be here, but he's Johnny on the spot on his toes, man.
He couldn't see because he was blocked out by the water bottle.
Nice prayers and water. Would you have it from the screen?
Yes.
All right, I'm back to bill number 2476.
Dave, you want this one?
Oh, sure. I move that bill number 2476 be given its first read by title only.
Second.
Mr. Decker is the second for bill number 2476 to give its first reading by title only. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. First reading, please, Heather.
An ordinance of the city of Centralia, Missouri imposing a use tax for general revenue purposes at a rate of 2.5% for the privilege of storing, using, or consuming within the city any article of tangible personal property pursuant to the authority granted by and subject to the provisions of section 144-600 through 144-761 RSMO, providing for the use tax to be repealed, reduced, or raised in the same amount as any city sales tax is repealed, reduced, or raised, and providing for the submission of the proposal to the qualified voters of the city for their approval at the general election called and to be held in the city on November 8th, 2022.
Now I know why you gave it to her.
Still choked up.
She's just so.
Bill number 2476 be given its second read by title only.
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Rogers that bill number 2476 be adopted, be read by title only for second reading. Sydney, please. Oh, no, all in favor? All opposed? Okay, Sydney, please.
An ordinance of the city of Centralia, Missouri imposing a use tax for general revenue purposes at a rate of 2.5% for the privilege of storing, using, or consuming within the city any article of tangible personal property pursuant to the authority granted by and subject to the provisions of section 144-600 through 144-761 RSMO, providing for the use tax to be repealed, reduced, or raised in the same amount as any city sales tax is repealed, reduced, or raised, and providing for the submission of the proposal to the qualified voters of the city for their approval at the general election called and to be held in the city on November 8th, 2022.
I move that bill number 2476 be adopted by a roll call vote.
Second. I have a first and a second by Mr. Decker that bill number 2476 be adopted by roll call vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Motley, Alderman Hudson,
Four.
Alderman Wilkins,
4.
Alderman Deckard,
Four.
Alderman Rogers,
Four.
Alderman Magley.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a comment. I'm very much in favor of the use tax passing, but this has gone up before and it has failed. You guys need to take a very proactive approach in order to get this passed. It's been passed in many other cities, and it does need to be passed.
Thank you. That moves us on to, oh, I need ordinance number 3141, is that correct?
Yes, but you didn't say that it passed.
Oh, excuse me, it passed. So bill number 24676 passed, ordinance number 3141. All right, that moves us to D, which is bill number 2477, Missouri TAP Program Application Authorization.
Move that bill number 2477 be given its first reading by title only.
Second.
I have a first and a second, that bill number 2477 be given its first reading by title only.
Ordinance expressing support of the city of Centralia's application for funds through MoDOT's Transportation Alternatives TAP program and authoring the submission of an application relating to the proposed sidewalk project.
Just so you know, we should have voted on that.
Yeah, we need to vote on it.
Oh,
So, before you can do that.
I get to do it 3 times.
That's right.
It's a charm.
So, I have a first and a second that bill number 2477 be given its first reading by title only. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? First reading.
Move it. You gonna read it again?
You gotta read it the first time.
I always get to.
This is the first time.
Ordinance expressing support of the city of Centralia's application for funds through MoDOT's Transportation Alternatives TAP program and authoring the submission of an application relating to the proposed sidewalk project.
Move that bill number 2477 be given its second reading by title only.
Second.
I have a first and a second, that bill number 2477 be given the second reading by title only. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. Second reading, please, Cindy.
Ordinance expressing support of the city of Centralia's application for funds through MoDOT's Transportation Alternatives TAP program and authoring the submission of an application relating to the proposed sidewalk project.
Move that bill number 2477 be roll call vote.
Second.
I have a first and a second that bill number 2477 be adopted by roll call vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Roll call vote, please. Passes.
Alderman Motley, Alderman Hudson,
Four.
Alderman Wilkins,
4.
Alderman Deckard,
Four.
Alderman Rogers,
4.
Alderman Magley.
Yeah.
Okay, bill number 2477 passes. Ordinance number 3142. Moves to E. Setting, bill number 2478, setting compensation for a certain city employee.
Bill number 2478 be given its first read by title only.
Second.
Oh, man, I had a first and a second, but I'm gonna give it to Rogers, was the second. that bill number 2478 be given its first reading by title only. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. First reading, please.
An ordinance to set the compensation of certain employees of the city of Centralia, Missouri.
I move that bill number 2478 be given its second reading by title only.
Second.
Seconded. Bill number 2478, that's first and second, for the second reading of the title only. All in favor? All opposed?
An ordinance to set the compensation of certain employees of the city of Centralia, Missouri.
I move that bill number 2478 be adopted by a roll call vote.
Second.
I have a first and a second that bill number 2478 be adopted by roll call vote. All in favor? All opposed? Passes. Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Motley, Alderman Hudson,
4.
Alderman Wilkins,
4.
Alderman Deckard,
4.
Alderman Rogers,
4.
Alderman Magley.
Yeah.
And bill number 2478 passes. Ordinance number?
3143.
This is the old business. So under old business, I have something that I want to do at this time. As we all know that Ms. Heather Russell's leaving the city of Centralia to go to Columbia. It's been a great pleasure working with her, and I've got a little plaque here for her, to kick her out the door with and to move forward. But no, she's it's been neat to see her grow in her role and the opportunity to see her.
Anybody got a camera?
Maddie,
Yeah.
stand up and take a picture.
Oh,
I need not be in it.
But truly, I want to tell you, I really appreciate having worked with you and the things that we went through. The city of Centralia has seen a lot of things that a lot of towns don't see ever, and we've seen a lot of them in the last 2 to 3 years. It's been, we've had our share. So maybe it's like a 100-year flood. It'll be 100 years before we see anything like that. But we've had a lot of stuff going on, and you persevered through it. It's been very challenging, and I couldn't be more appreciative of what you've done for the city. I know that we all feel the same way for that. And I want to tell you, with heartfelt thanks, really good luck, and we're going to miss you. So thank you. Appreciate you. All right.
Oh,
I had to.
And then we have another presentation coming.
aw.
Just from all the employees in the city, just thank you so much, a small token, because there's no way to give you a big enough token for all the appreciation for your dedication and your service and your loyalty.
Yeah. I had that as
You'll be
well.
very missed.
Oh, sorry.
Here, we'll get it. There we go. Thank you. Do it upside down. No, you don't.
So put you under old business. I guess that's probably,
Old business.
Old business.
Maybe your old business.
and that's that, you know? So anyway, oh, and for everybody, because we're getting ready to do,
That's awesome.
Forgot you couldn't
oh,
see
that was
it.
still late. You blacked out and came to me. No, she just started black, so not okay.
I've been staring at Harold this entire time.
I'm sorry.
You want us to move the phone a little bit?
Yeah, alternate it. Let
Yeah.
it look at.
The new view. Unlike the tour I got from Heather of the basin that day. Anyway,
You don't wanna look at me.
that moves us, don't forget, everybody, before we go to item 12, we have cookies and cake. You're welcome to get a piece of it. Heather will be out here as well, so somebody will stay over and hang out with her while we're in closed session. It'll be fun. The next item is to go into closed session, item 12. I would entertain someone reading us into.
During the meeting, the Board of Aldermen may elect to go into a closed session and hold a closed vote, and the purpose of such closed session and closed vote shall be: 1, as provided for under section 610.0213 of the revised statutes of Missouri for hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting particular employees by a public governmental body.
Second.
Okay, I have a first and a second to go into closed session, as stated. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, roll call vote, please. Go to closed session.
Alderman Motley, Alderman Hudson,
For.
Alderman Wilkins,
4.
Alderman Deckard,
Four.
Alderman Rogers,
Or,
Alderman Magley.
Yeah.
We'll take him with us.
You'll have to take my phone with you.
oh my, Dave, if I lose you.
You're in charge.
You can take that little thing if you
I'm
want.
gonna take this.
Closed session, back into open session with a motion and a vote to come back into session. During that time, we had, there was a vote taken for personnel, and that was the only vote that was taken tonight in that meeting, and that time we've been out. So back to,
Do I have to put like how it was voted or
Mhm.
not?
we'll tell you.
I have it.
She's got it, she wrote it down. That moves us now to any new business, to talk about. Then let's go to the mayor. I don't have anything more to say tonight. Anything, the MML conference is coming up. Who else going to that? Robert, you're going, right?
Yes.
MML, who, anybody else going?
You, Tara.
Okay, got it.
I've heard John.
Oh, it's Sydney.
With your,
No, that's fine, that's no problem, I'm just
I'm
asking.
long-term 90.
Oh, wow, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Good.
With Sydney, there's 4 of us.
Okay, now to the city administrator, this is one of her final things that she's gonna get to do for us, and so, I'll
Right.
turn it over to you.
So my reports are in the packet. I included one up through today. Just spent a lot of time talking about a lot of different things. The inland wholesale agreement, the intersection at 124, 22, and 151, that will be a roundabout. MoDOT is going to do some public hearings and things like that in the meantime to let everybody know.
Were they scheduled them through here, or will they be at the city hall?
Yeah, they'll do them here locally.
It's
Answer questions.
target for completion 2024.
So moving
Right
forward.
now,
Okay.
I don't know if you do that.
Yeah, they are, they had some plans, it looked pretty good, and so anyway, they're gonna move forward with that. And then this month was just getting a lot of things ready for the transition, so, worked on a lot of instructions and tried to make it an easy transition. Just so you know, it took me 6 hours, when I moved into that office, it took me 6 hours to clean it. I wouldn't even move into it until
I'll
Friday
send a
night.
video of it.
Terrible video.
I'll send a video.
Left it better than I found it.
Mhm.
So there's a little desk.
There's a little desk. I did take my desk out that I.
You know, for full disclosure, she bought the desk that she had, so if anybody in the community saw her moving it out, it was her desk to hang.
Yeah, I had complaints that Heather was stealing furniture from me.
Yeah, well, I figured that would happen, so, good. Anything else, Heather?
No, that's all. Thank you. I just appreciate the opportunity to work with you all. You've been great mentors and support system, and I'm gonna miss it.
Heather,
You will
What?
be missed.
it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I cried a lot tonight already.
Don't
I wasn't planning on it until Donna got up and started it. Well, Phyllis started it before even the meeting, but
we had a little spell. I was talking to you earlier today.
I know,
said,
it's
"I'm gonna
just
get out of here."
all day long. I knew it was gonna be like that.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I
But
just
it-
appreciate you all
Last
very
day's
much.
always hard.
She's fine.
But nobody's died. She'll be around. You can come see us, right?
Samantha's not crying right now.
Thank you for all you've done again, and great luck to you. You don't need luck. You'll do a great job. So
Thank you.
they're lucky to have you. So thanks for all you've done for the city. City attorney, she left nothing with us that I know of. She's checking in some things that we talked about earlier in the meeting. City clerk, have anything for her, role at this point? Okay.
Nothing.
How about as may arise? Any as may arise? Nope. Then I would,
I make a
entertain.
motion, we adjourn.
Second.
I have a second, by Rogers. And, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We stand.
They have a good night.